In the cold, crushing blackness of the abyssal plain, life takes on forms both alien and persistent.
Pycnogonids, or sea spiders, are not true spiders, but ancient marine arthropods inhabiting all world oceans. From frigid poles to the vibrant tropics, their strange, elongated bodies thrive in surprisingly diverse habitats.
Their locomotion is slow, deliberate, a patient, multi-legged meander across the cold, silent ocean floor.
This primitive, gut-filled body plan has existed for over 500 million years, a living testament to evolutionary success.
In the Antarctic, where gigantism reigns, the sea spider can grow to the size of a dinner plate.
Surviving tidal forces and changing light, they are remarkably resilient, though rarely seen in these shallower zones.
Even in the complex root systems of coastal mangroves, this ancient form manages to find its niche.
Some Pycnogonid species are found near the extreme heat of hydrothermal vents, surviving impossible chemical conditions.
Camouflage is key in the sunlit shallows. Their slender bodies mimic the blades of surrounding seagrass.
While primarily bottom dwellers, some species have been observed drifting in the open, food-scarce water column.
Modern deep-sea submersibles offer rare, fleeting glimpses into the silent world of these deep-dwelling pycnogonids.
The pycnogonid seeks shelter from currents and predators beneath large, simplified stationary organisms like sponges.
They make their quiet passage across the silent remnants of human activity, treating debris as another rock.
The creature extends its feeding tube, or proboscis, to suck fluids directly from the soft bodies of its prey.
Reproduction often involves the male carrying the fertilized eggs on his specialized, simplified ovagers or leg segments.
Their incredibly slender bodies offer minimal resistance to the constant, subtle flow of deep ocean water currents.
The legs are articulated by simple, efficient hinges, providing a slow, measured, powerful grip on the substrate.
Hydroids and bryozoans are common meals. The spider patiently navigates until the soft colony is reached.
Some juvenile sea spiders hitch rides on drifting zooplankton, expanding their range across the global current system. To anchor against small currents, the spider often uses the tips of its long legs to grip or bury itself slightly. The dedicated male parent carefully shepherds the large egg cluster until the tiny young are ready for independent life. Even the vertical faces of the deepest ocean trenches are conquered by the remarkable, simple grip of these creatures. Left exposed by the receding tide, they enter a state of near motionless waiting until the water returns to envelop them.
The expansion of human infrastructure on the seafloor now crosses the paths of even the most remote, deep-sea inhabitants.
Their slow pace allows them to successfully prey on the simple, sessile bodies of sea anemones and similar creatures. Larval pycnogonids often begin life as tiny parasites or floaters, spreading through the ocean's vast currents.
Retreating into fissures and cracks provides essential protection from the frigid turbulence of the ice water environment.
The true scale of the sea spider population is unknown. They inhabit some of the largest, least explored regions on Earth.
Lacking a centralized respiratory system, the essential gut and digestive diverticula extend directly into each leg. Cold blood of the Antarctic giant allows for slowed metabolic rates, perfectly suited for the deep, near-freezing environment.
Their body color and structure often mimic the sessile organisms upon which they rest, providing essential protection from visual hunters.
The dense communities of vent life provide a rich hunting ground, but also a complex landscape to navigate slowly. Each step is a careful negotiation of the substrate, a slow, patient expenditure of minimal energy across the ocean floor. Modern deep-sea technology provides a temporary perch for these wanderers, unaware of the artificial nature of their current substrate.
In the shallows, the sea spider must contend with the sun's rhythm, a stark contrast to its deep-sea relative's constant darkness.
The central nervous system is extremely reduced. A simple, efficient network for coordinating their basic. The exceptionally cold, well-oxygenated Antarctic waters negate the need for a complex internal respiratory system.
They often leave their prey intact, only removing small amounts of tissue fluid before slowly moving on to another meal.
Even their minimal bodies cast an unavoidable, elongated shadow, a small concession to the physics of shallow water light.
Born of fire, the basaltic rocks provide a solid, though challenging, substrate for the patient, simple-bodied deep-sea wanderer.
Carried and released by melting ice, these isolated dropstones become temporary, elevated islands for the benthic life they harbor.
The proboscis ends in a simple, muscular suction cup. This is their only tool for acquiring and consuming food. In chemosynthetic ecosystems, bacterial mats provide a rich food source for certain pycnogonids and other simple deep-sea life.
Periods of motionlessness help them avoid detection, transforming the creature into a simple, unassuming, stick-like silhouette.
A substantial investment. The male carries the immense burden of the next generation until the crucial moment of release.
Growth demands a new, larger exoskeleton. The creature must slowly and carefully extract itself from its old, simplified shell.
Tubular sponges provide an excellent vantage point and a solid, simplified structure for temporary rest in the complex reef environment.
This mineral-rich deep-sea landscape is another territory for the Pycnogonid, slowly crisscrossing the hard, metallic spheres.
The terminal claw provides a powerful, simplified hook-like grip, essential for navigating uneven, slippery, and vertical surfaces. Barnacles and their soft tissues are a favored, nutritious meal, requiring patience and a precise, soft-feeding approach. The creature's simple, open circulatory system is perfectly adapted to withstand the crushing, uniform pressure of the deep-sea abyss.
They share the cold, benthic world with other simple, slow-moving invertebrates, occasionally using them as a temporary bridge.
These simplified, pincer-like appendages are used for moving food towards the proboscis before the consumption process begins. The dense, protective tangle of the kelp holdfast provides an ideal, hidden, static shelter from fast-moving predators.
In the permanent darkness of the abyss, sight is often irrelevant. Other, more primal senses guide the slow movements.
The clawed legs provide the necessary friction and grip for a slow, vertical ascent across sheer, simple underwater rock faces.
Though often slow-moving, the nudibranch is avoided by some pycnogonids due to the simplified chemical defenses it may possess.
Their four simple eyes are often reduced or absent in deep-sea species, providing only basic light and shadow detection.
The constantly changing sand ripples create a vast, challenging, simple topography that must be slowly traversed for finding new prey.
Over the vast, featureless soft clay plains, their presence is only marked by these nearly imperceptible, elongated footprints.
Sea squirts, being soft-bodied and sessile, provide a suitable and abundant food source for many of the larger pycnogonid species. When the crucial task of egg carrying is complete, the specialized ovagers are simply tucked back into a resting position against the body.
The dense, sharp shell edges of a mussel bed require meticulous, slow steps to avoid damage to the simple, fragile legs.
Near these simplified cold seeps, the unique chemistry can support unique, slow-moving forms of life, including certain pycnogonid species.
The simplest camouflage is often the most effective. Blending into the environment is a primary defense for the slow-moving creature.
To ensure stability on uneven terrain, the simple legs are deployed in a stable, wide-based, tripod walking pattern.
The stalked crinoids provide a safe, elevated perch, lifting the pycnogonid above the immediate activity of the seafloor.
Though their movements are slow, a sudden disturbance can kick up a fine sediment cloud, which then slowly settles around them.
Abandoned shells and debris provide ready-made, simple shelter, and the creature seeks refuge in the empty curves of the marine landscape.
Within the simple egg, the first stages of a new sea spider develop, a slow, patient unfolding of an ancient body plan.
Navigate the sharp chemical boundaries of brine pools, avoiding the extreme salinity and simplified toxic composition of the water within.
Floating to the bottom after volcanic events, pumice provides a strange, lightweight, foreign substrate for deep-sea life to explore.
Hydroids are often the primary food source, and the spider patiently and meticulously harvests the soft, simple, accessible tissue. Finally, the tiny, simplified larvae are gently released into the water column, beginning their slow, independent journey in the current.
Waiting patiently, they rely on the slow, constant rain of marine snow, the primary food source for all abyssal life.
An injured leg means slow, hampered movement. The creature must now rely on its remaining simplified limbs for care.
Clumps of drift algae become temporary rafts, providing both shelter and an opportunity for a slow dispersal to new feeding grounds.
The digestive process is simple and slow, resulting in small, compacted pellets of waste being gently expelled into the water.
A whale fall is an immense temporary bounty, an oasis of concentrated food that attracts.
Subtle changes in water density or temperature are navigated. The creature is sensitive to the smallest, simplified environmental gradient shifts.
Gelatinous colonial tunicates are another slow-moving food source, requiring delicate, patient, and precise movement to consume successfully.
Lacking complex blood vessels, a simple, tubular heart gently pushes the hemolymph through the open, simplified body cavity system.
Scientific instruments become an artificial substrate.
Moving carefully, the large Pycnogonid must avoid damaging the incredibly simple, delicate, silica-based lattice structure of the deep-sea glass sponge.
The juvenile stage is often parasitic or planktonic. The tiny creature seeks a host or a patch of food for initial growth.
Chemosensory hairs on the simple legs and head provide vital, subtle information about the chemical environment and potential food sources.
Submerged wood provides a unique, temporary, organic refuge and nutrient source in the deep sea.
The male continues his slow, paternal duties, carrying the decreasing egg mass until every simplified larva.
Pumpkins present a spiky, simplified challenge. The spider must slowly and precisely navigate the protective, hazardous surface to reach the other side.
They can often remain motionless, utilizing simple chemical sensors to detect the subtle, passing plumes of food or prey.
The small, precise feeding wound is temporary. The prey organism usually survives the minimal, slow removal of tissue fluid.
Periods of strong, deep-sea currents require a powerful, simplified grip. The creature must become a patient, static anchor.
Rhizoan colonies offer a similar vertical, simple path to the water column, and the spider climbs slowly to seek a brief, elevated perch.
In these nutrient-rich plumes, the Pycnogonid will consume the simplified, free-floating bacterial aggregations.
The moment of hatching is a slow, methodical emergence. The simplified larva leaves the protection of the egg. Slow approach is essential to avoid the stinging, simplified tentacles. The base of the anemone offers the safest point of contact.
A simplified rock peak becomes a temporary vantage point, allowing the creature to quietly survey the vast, empty, dark terrain below.
They share this cold, pressure-filled world with other slow, adapted deep-sea inhabitants, including the stilt-legged.
In a simplified defense mechanism, the creature can voluntarily detach a leg segment to escape a threat, a process known as autotomy.
In the eternal deep-sea darkness, many Pycnogonids become translucent, a simple, effective form of low-visibility camouflage.
In some species, the eggs are not carried, but simply deposited in a secure, static location.
Relying on simple chemoreception, the creature uses its leg tip hairs to slowly navigate toward the faintest, dissolved chemical trail of prey. Simple human debris, though foreign, provides a safe, contained, temporary shelter for the smallest, deep-sea Pycnogonids.
When disturbed or threatened, the creature seeks the tight, dark, simplified security of a small, narrow rock crevice or fissure.
The devoted male carefully holds the delicate egg mass off the substrate, ensuring continuous, clean water flow and minimal abrasion.
Moving from the abyss to the slightly shallower bathyal zone, the creature's color may subtly change, but its simple body plan remains.
These large, simplified Antarctic anemones provide a solid, non-nutritive vertical structure.
The creature descends slowly, ensuring its simplified grip remains secure on the thin, unstable, vertical stalk of the small sea squirt.
Acetylene. The lost leg is not permanently gone. The creature slowly regenerates a new, simplified limb from the point of detachment.
They make their quiet passage across the anchors and simplified housings of scientific instruments, treating them as non-organic rock. In a few rare species, the eggs are brooded directly on the female's simplified ventral surface, an exception to the male's usual role. The slow transition between substrates requires a change in gait, a subtle, careful adjustment from soft. An accidental air bubble, though temporary, can momentarily alter the creature's simple buoyancy, requiring careful, compensating steps.
Certain giant species possess an exaggeratedly long proboscis, allowing them to feed from the safety of a simplified distance on the prey.
They often scavenge. The exposed tissues of a feeding sea star provide an easy, temporary, simplified food source without any struggle. The entire body is essentially a narrow, simple, cylindrical trunk from which the 4 pairs of elongated legs radiate outward. Climbing the legs of scientific structures, the creature seeks a small, temporary, elevated view above the immediate seafloor environment.
Larval pycnogonids often attach to the simplified, soft bodies of medusae or hydrozoans.
Though primarily walkers, they can manage a limited, simplified, slow-motion swim, using coordinated, rapid, paddle-like leg movements.
The mouth is surrounded by a few simple, specialized, static appendages, all dedicated to the slow process of finding and manipulating food.
Deep within the rock fissures, the creature finds a safe, simplified, static refuge from the unknown, unseen predators of the deep. In the extreme cold, ice formation can be a constant threat. The creature's physiology attempts to resist the simplified crystalline structure.
Sea cucumbers are sometimes prey, offering a large, soft, simplified body of tissue for the slow, precise sucking proboscis to access.
Immediately after shedding its old shell, the creature is in a simplified, soft, and vulnerable state, waiting patiently for the new cuticle to harden.
Navigating the simplified, unseen hazards of discarded fishing line is a constant, slow danger, even in the most remote, deep ocean territories.
Small obstacles require a slow, deliberate, exaggerated high step. Each simple movement is a careful, measured calculation of position.
The internal cavities and simplified tunnels of large sponges provide a temporary, safe, hidden haven for the slow-moving creature.
Following a successful feeding, the simple, central digestive tube slowly fills with the nutritious fluid extracted from the soft-bodied prey.
The smooth, simplified, unnatural surface of human equipment present a unique climbing challenge. Encrusting bryozoans provide a broad, flat, simplified feeding surface, and the creature slowly grazes over the stationary colony. They coexist with other slow-moving, armored arthropods, and the sea spider's diet does not include the hard-shelled, simplified crustaceans.
The male performs a slow, crucial, simple cleaning action, ensuring the egg mass is free of debris and receiving maximal water circulation.
Artificial verticals, like discarded plastic straws, become another strange, simple, temporary climbing opportunity for the deep-sea wanderer.
Following the planktonic stage, the larva slowly settles onto a suitable substrate, beginning the transition to its
Scavenging for soft tissue remnants, the creature quietly traverses the simplified, linear, bony remnants of the occasional, larger, dead organism. Without space in the tiny trunk, the digestive system's simplified branches must extend directly and slowly into the full length of each leg.
The largest of human debris, like simplified tires, become long-lasting, heavy, artificial rock.
Perching near the excurrent pore of a giant sponge provides the creature with a constant, slow stream of passing, nutrient-rich water.
Coral rubble is a sharp, simplified hazard. The creature must slowly step over the rigid, angular, bleached white remnants of a once living structure.
Simplid palps perform a crucial, slow, tactile exploration, chemically and physically confirming the suitability of a potential food source.
Even the smallest pieces of plastic debris offer temporary, simplified shelter. The creature seeks.
The fibrous, intricate skeleton of a dead sponge provides a lightweight, complex, elevated scaffolding for the
place. The presence of a sea slug's simplified egg ribbon marks a temporary, localized concentration of organic matter.
Each long, simple leg is composed of multiple, articulated cylindrical segments, allowing a slow, measured, controlled range of motion. The largest cables become a temporary, artificial, simple, elevated ridge that the slow-moving Pycnogonid will.
The natural curvature of an empty, simplified shell provides a perfect, small, hard-walled shelter for the small, slow-moving creature.
His slow, crucial paternal duty is now complete,
The male remains motionless, resting after the weeks-long demanding brooding process.
Heavy fishing weights are another form of simple, discarded human debris, providing a hard, unyielding, temporary substrate for the traversing creature.
Driven by chemical cues, the creature slowly navigates the complex environment towards the base of the nutrient-rich, simplified plume. Even the secondary growth on other organisms, like hydroids on a sponge, can provide a convenient, simple, and slow-moving feeding patch.
Summer. The larva is often a temporary parasite, using the simple, soft hydroid as both its host and a
Brightly colored lures, though non-nutritive, are another form of foreign, simplified substrate, slowly investigated by the...
To avoid strong currents, the creature seeks the quiet, static, simplified corners and protected angles of the benthic terrain, resting motionless.
Gorgonian branches provide an ideal, elevated, simple, vertical highway, and the creature climbs slowly to find better foraging positions. After several slow molts, the juvenile attains its characteristic, elongated, simplified adult leg structure. Hollow, simplified, discarded cans provide another perfect, contained artificial shelter, offering a small...
The Pycnogonid must slowly and meticulously navigate the simplified, brittle, razor-sharp edges of the constantly forming, unmoving ice crystals. Burrows often indicate the presence of soft-bodied prey. The creature slowly patrols the rim, waiting for a chance to feed. Interactions between Pycnogonids are typically non-aggressive. A slow, brief, simple physical contact is usually followed by a quiet separation.
Geological fault lines, though simplified, pose a risk. The creature must slowly and carefully negotiate the unstable.
The ghostly outline of a discarded plastic glove is another strange, soft, artificial structure. Broken glass is a simplified, artificial, sharp hazard. The creature must slowly and meticulously navigate. The proboscis is used as a simple, extended sensory probe, slowly tapping and chemically testing the substrate for any presence of soft-bodied prey. The simple, circular voids of plastic rings present a slow, awkward, artificial aperture.
Avoiding the formidable, simplified spines, the creature approaches the base of the urchin. The soft tissue,
the smooth, flat, simplified surface of a discarded fish scale provides a brief, temporary, slippery challenge for the traversing Pycnogonid. The male performs a slow, simple, meticulous cleaning of the now empty, specialized oviger legs, concluding discarded batteries, though toxic, become another form of hard, simplified, artificial rock structure that the deep-sea creature must slowly navigate.
The colossal skeletons of Antarctic fish provide an elevated, long-lasting, simplified scaffold.
Even the smallest pieces of fishing gear, like the simplified weight and line, require slow, cautious, meticulous navigation to pass safely.
The feeding process is a slow, methodical suction. The simplifier muscular proboscis extracts the essential fluids.
The simplified teeth of a discarded comb present a strange, artificial, linear obstacle course that the slow... They share the cold, benthic world with other slow-moving, armored arthropods. The sea spider focuses only on soft-bodied prey.
The elaborate plumes of the sea slug are a visual warning, and the Pycnogonid is often cautious.
But the articulated cylindrical segments allow for a simplified, slow, precise, controlled bending of the limb, essential for navigating complex terrain.
Lost footwear becomes a massive, artificial shelter or rock-like structure. Slowly. The occasional deposition of fine, soft sediment requires a slower, more careful gait. Another form of human debris, the simple toy becomes an artificial, temporary, vertical structure that the Pycnogonid will patiently climb and explore.
The simple, tubular heart beats slowly and rhythmically, gently pushing the life-sustaining hemolymph through the open, simplified body cavity.
The smooth, simplified, curved surface of a discarded jar presents a new, artificial climbing challenge. The stalks of deep-sea jellyfish provide a unique, simplified, elevated, temporary hunting perch.
Piles of broken shell fragments are an unstable, simplified, loose hazard. The creature must use slow, deliberate steps to avoid falling or being swept away.
Though their adult life is benthic, the simplified larval form is planktonic, using its tiny, coordinated leg movements to slowly swim through the water column.
Scientific probes and instruments become a temporary, simple, linear path. The creature slowly traverses
The larvae are released slowly and gradually, ensuring they are not all concentrated in one place, allowing for simplified, wide dispersal.
A discarded fishing bobber is a temporary, simple artificial dome, slowly scaled by the creature for a brief, elevated vantage point.
Digestion relies on slow, simple, wave-like peristalsis, gently pushing the absorbed fluid nutrients through the entire simplified digestive system.
Flat, simplified plastic lids provide another hard, unyielding, artificial rock structure for the deep sea.
The larva's parasitic existence begins with an aggressive, simplified, tiny attachment to a soft cnidarian host, a guaranteed first meal.
The simplified, exposed tissue of an injured sea star provides a temporary, easily accessible, simplified meal for the simple eyes are effective at detecting large, passing shadows, prompting the creature to immediately cease slow movement and remain static. A brightly colored, simplified rubber glove is another strange, soft, artificial shelter. The massive, empty cavities of a whale skull provide a perfect, natural, protected refuge for the largest of the slow-moving pycnogonids. The underside of a clinging sea star provides a small, temporary, simplified shelter, a brief, protected space from predators and current.
After the arduous task of brooding, the male enters a period of slow, deliberate rest, conserving energy for the next simplified phase of life.
The smooth, simplified, curved surface of a discarded glass bulb presents another unnatural art.
The creature's long proboscis is slowly inserted deep into the soft tissue of the large sea anemone, beginning.
Decaying seagrass provides a temporary, soft, organic substrate and a concentrated, slow-consuming source of associated microbes and debris.
Their 4 pairs of legs exemplify the arachnid classification, yet their simplified body plan sets them apart in the marine world.
A discarded ceramic mug provides a small, hard-walled, simplified, artificial cave, offering a dark.
The skeletal remnants of massive, simple, sessile organisms, a long-lasting, elevated.
A discarded plastic bottle is another common, simple, artificial structure, slowly traversed by
passengers. Following the end of the long brooding period, the male may voluntarily shed its simplified, now unnecessary. Discarded rope provides a complex, simplified, fibrous, pliable substrate that the slow-moving pycnogonid must patiently navigate and explore.
In the cold Antarctic, sponge forests create an intricate, simplified, vertical landscape. Slowly,
angled plastic bags are a simple, soft, clanging hazard. The creature must slowly and meticulously disentangle its simplified legs to pass safely.
The larva's primary goal is a successful, simplified, parasitic attachment. A suitable host guarantees a fixed location. The slow, complex tangle of discarded fishing net is a constant, simplified, life-threatening hazard that the deep place. Once released, the tiny, simplified larvae are at the mercy of the slow, gentle, deep-sea currents. The complex tube feet of the sea star are a constant, slow, mesmerizing movement, and the creature remains static.
The simple, elongated legs serve to elevate the vulnerable, small body trunk above the immediate substrate, reducing friction and debris contact.
A discarded plastic sandal is another large, flat, simplified, artificial surface that the deep-sea creature must.
Flat, encrusting sessile organisms provide a simplified, stationary feeding ground, and the creature slowly grazes over the vast, simplified living carpet. Soft coral branches provide a flexible, simplified vertical path, and the creature climbs slowly, compensating for the gentle, constant sway. The ovagers are slowly and completely folded back, an energy-saving posture that marks the creature's final, slow, deliberate phase of rest.
A large, simplified, discarded fishing buoy is another massive, artificial structure, slowly traverse.
They share this cold, benthic world with other simple, static, massive invertebrates, occasionally using them.
Smooth, simple sea glass, though unnatural, provides a brief, slippery, polished surface, slowly negotiates.
During periods of rest, the simplified legs are often fully extended, creating a static, minimal energy, stilt-like.
Discarded plastic toys become another form. Smooth, simplified.
Soft-bodied, slow-moving worms provide a suitable, nutrient-rich, simplified meal, and the creature slowly and meticulously positions itself for the feed.
The simplified, sharp edges of an open clamshell require careful, slow, deliberate steps.
The medusa, or jellyfish, serves as a moving, temporary, simplified host, allowing the larval Pycnogonid.
Corroded tin cans provide a temporary, simplified, hard, cylindrical structure that the deep-sea creature must serve. The exposed, simple tissues of a feeding sea star provide an opportunistic, easily accessible, concentrations of barnacles present small, hard, simplified obstacles. The creature slowly steps over the cluster, occasionally pausing to feed briefly. When not actively feeding, the muscular proboscis is slowly and efficiently retracted back into the head, a simple, non-aggressive, resting posture.
A discarded, simplified fishing hook is a tiny, deadly.
The long, simplified arms of a dead brittle star provide an elevated, linear, hard-surfaced path. The soft, simplified tissue of the colonial tunnit, growing on a secondary substrate, provides another slow-consuming, easily accessible fluid meal.
The planktonic larva will occasionally seek temporary, static shelter, clinging motionless to any simplified vertical structure. The discarded head of a simple doll becomes a strange, smooth, simplified, artificial rock structure.
On sloped surfaces, the creature maintains a static, simple, tripod-like stance, distributing its weight across the
Large, flat rocks provide a smooth, simplified, expansive, horizontal substrate, slowly traversed by the creature.
The male often relies on the simple, constant circulation of clean, flowing water to passively clean and ventilate the delicate egg mass.
A partially mud-filled bottle presents a new challenge. The creature slowly traverses the simplified, curved.
After the planktonic stage, the larva often settles on a firm, simple, small structure like a worm tube, beginning the slow transition to adulthood.
Large, deep cracks provide extreme shelter, but the creature often patrols the simplified edges, utilizing them as a dark, protective boundary.
Regeneration is a slow, sequential process. Lost leg segments are slowly replaced in stages.
A large, simplified plastic bucket is another massive, artificial hollow structure.
Even these ancient creatures are not immune. The slow-moving pycnons are often hosts.
The soft, gelatinous tissue of the egg ribbon provides a temporary, simple, concentrated, slow-consuming.
Following a successful slow feeding, the creature enters a period of static, deliberate rest, conserving the newly acquired energy for future wanderings.
Clusters of discarded lures create a complex, artificial, simplified, metallic field that the deep-sea creature must slowly and carefully navigate.
The massive, simplified stalks of deep-sea kelp provide an elevated, strong, vertical highway for the
Smooth boulders present a simplified, slick, curved challenge, and the creature must use precise, slow, claw-tipped steps to maintain its footing.
The juvenile feeds with the same simplified, slow, methodical sucking process as the adult, but on much smaller, manageable prey particles.
The severed arm of a simple doll becomes a strange, smooth, simplified, artificial rock. The special ovagers will slowly regenerate after being shed. The creature is already preparing for the next, long, paternal brooding cycle.
Small clusters of barnacles offer a concentrated, simplified feeding spot. The creature slowly moves from one soft, accessible shell opening to the next.
The defining trait is a slow, methodical pace. Each step is simplified, careful, deliberate act.
A discarded plastic spool is another artificial, simplified, cylindrical structure, slowly traversed by the creature as
The dead body of a small fish provides a rare, temporary, simplest source of concentrated, soft tissue. Small, submerged logs, though temporary, provide a unique, simplified, raised, cylindrical substrate that
the simplified palps remain motionless during long periods of static rest, only engaging their slow, tactile, and chemical sensory role when actively searching.
Flat, simplified plastic trays provide another hard, unyielding, artificial rock structure for the deep sea.
Minor injuries are a part of their slow, perilous life. The creature carries on its slow, deliberate journey, minimally affected by the small wound.
The slow movement of the sea star is a common, harmless spectacle. The Pycnogonid remains static, and the male actively, slowly, and simply aerates the egg mass, gently moving it through the water to ensure a constant supply of essential oxygen. Discarded fishing rods become another simplified, long, linear, artificial path, slowly traversed by the creature as it patiently searches for new prey. During periods of prolonged rest, the creature may slowly tuck one or more of its long, simplified legs close to the downward. The slow, slight opening of a mussel shell presents a rare, simplified opportunity for the creature to attempt to penetrate.
After a long, slow period, the new leg is fully grown, simplified, and functional, completely restoring the creature's balanced, 8-legged locomotion.
When vertical, a discarded bottle becomes a simple, tall, smooth, artificial tower, a challenging sled.
On extremely uneven terrain, the creature employs a complex, asymmetrical, static stance. Each simplified leg.
The slug and the Pycnogonid share the benthic zone, both moving slowly, both exploiting different, simple, slow renewable food sources without interaction.
The period of rest is over, the creature slowly and deliberately resumes its methodical, patient, slow-paced wandering across the simplified substrate.
Light, flexible, simplified aluminum foil provides another unique, pliable substrate. Even the soft, temporary structure of a worm's fecal cast can provide a suitable, simplified, isolated, elevated settlement point for the larva. A simplified, flat pane of glass provides a perfect, smooth, artificial, horizontal surface.
During periods of prolonged rest, the simple, tubular heart rate decreases slowly, conserving the creature.
Colonized debris is a nutrient source. The creature slowly feeds on the simplified barnacles.
On a flat, simplified substrate, the creature can achieve
The bony remnants of a fish head provide a brief, complex, simplified structure to explore. The creature slowly scavenge.
The larva's instinct is to settle on a hard, simple, static substrate. Even an artificial glass slide will suffice.
A discarded glove becomes a temporary, elevated feeding platform. The creature slowly consumes. The soft, simplified tissue of the worm inside its protective tube is a valuable meal, and the creature slowly uses it.
The slow movement is essential for navigating the combination of natural and artificial entanglement. The creature patiently picks its to prepare for the slow, deliberate movement. The simple, tubular heart rate increases slightly, gently mobilizing the limited metabolic energy.
Clusters of discarded batteries create a complex, artificial, simplified metallic field that the deep-sea creole.
Initiating movement after a prolonged rest requires a slow, deliberate, powerful extension of the simplified.
The concentrated, exposed tissue of the mussel, simplified and pre-digested by the sea star,
the vital regeneration of the male's specialized ovagers begins slowly, the creature preparing for the next, inevitable.
The slow-moving Pycnogonid scavenges on the rare, small, nutrient-rich remnants left on the simplified, discarded human debris. On soft, silty substrates, the creature stabilizes itself for long periods of rest by slowly burying the
The slow, dramatic autotomy of a sea star's arm is a self-defense mechanism. The Pycnogonid remains motionless.
Even when static, subtle environmental shifts require a slow, deliberate, energy-conserving micro-adjustment of the long, simplified, stiffened legs, the creature exploits even the smallest openings. A tiny hole in a discarded bottle is enough for a slow, careful, protective entry.
Beginning of the slow, long paternal brooding cycle, the male carries a tiny, newly formed egg mass, the first stage of the next generation.
Dark rocks provide a good camouflage. The creature slowly and patiently traverses the simplified, dark, expansive surface.
The slow, simple, parasitic consumption of the small host sustains the larva until it is ready for its next simplified stage of growth and eventual settlement.
A dense tangle of discarded fishing line is a major, simplified, slow-moving hazard that the deep-sea creature must patiently. For maximum sensory input, the creature will slowly splay its long, simplified legs, increasing the surface area.
Waterlogged wood provides a soft, simplified, organic, elevated platform, slowly traversed by the creature as it patiently.
In the absence of deep pressure, the creature can slowly ascend to the surface,
testing the boundary of the simple, physical water tension.
The creature navigates the simplified junction of artificial materials, patiently crossing the line onto...
The male performs a final, slow, simple, paternal act, consuming the empty, gelatinous egg sac for